Welcome to LotZoo Tailgating Epicenter. I'm your host, John Ryder, and this is our draft expert, my tailgate partner in crime, Steve Hemrich.
How you doing?
We've got our 2012 Mockery Draft. Steve's been researching the draft now for probably when the season ended last year.
Yep, that's about
Because
right.
in Cleveland, that's the only thing we really have to look forward to is who we're going to get next and whose career we're going to destroy. So, Steve, how do you want to work? You want to work from 1 to 10, go back? Because I know last year we worked from 32 up, but there's not a lot of suspense at the front of this draft.
As I say, last year is definitely more suspenseful. With the #1 pick, I think the first two are a foregone conclusion, and after that, most people say the draft's not going to start until #4 with Cleveland and what they do. So
Or Minnesota.
True.
Okay. Well, why don't you go take us through your draft?
Okay.
And we got Chad too on camera. If you have any comments, Chad, and what you think, we want to hear what you think too about the Browns.
With the first pick, we have the Indianapolis Colts. I think this one's a no-brainer. I think everybody's known this since they got the worst record. We have them taking Andrew Luck, quarterback out of Stanford.
That's really a no-brainer.
Nah.
Can I guess that second pick?
Sure. But just to get back to Indianapolis, I mean, how can you not be happy if you're a Colt fan? What's the chances that you get a guy like Manning, and when you're kind of done with him, and you're looking for the heir apparent, you just happen to fall into that first pick with a quarterback like Andrew Luck. Right. So some teams just have all the luck.
That's true.
We'll go #2.
I'm going to go with, boy, it's tough. I'm going to say Robert Griffin III going to Washington.
I think that's pretty accurate. We got the Redskins after making the big trade. Robert Griffin III, quarterback out of Baylor, is that pick, and again, another no-brainer. I think they gave up a ton to get him, so he better pan out, but Washington,
I think he's going to be phenomenal.
I do too.
I really do. He gives some players around him, but the kid's got a ton of talent, and he's smart.
I agree.
That's the key.
Yeah.
I'm hearing he's selfish.
It's okay. He's a
He
professional
needs to be
athlete, right?
I give Washington credit, as for much being a Cleveland Browns fan, we would have loved to have seen Griffin.
Right.
Washington, whether they're right or wrong in the money they're spending, they went out and added players around them. They got some receivers, Morgan and Garcon, and to help build around. So if we were Cleveland, I don't think we would have, given up all those picks. I don't know what we would have been able to surround them with. So.
Who do you have at 3?
3, we have Minnesota Vikings. With them, I think they can go a few different ways. Left tackle, cornerback, receiver. I think all 3 are possible. And we have them going. You got to start up at that line. We have them taking Matt Khalil, tackle out of USC. Just too good to pass up.
Best left tackle in the draft.
I think so. And you got the franchise quarterback, you open Ponder, Peterson, the running back. I just think that just makes too much sense offensively for them not to take him.
All right. What about the Browns?
Our beloved Cleveland Browns. Where can we start? We can go in so many different directions. Running back, receiver. Some would say quarterback. Right tackle's a need. You still have some holes on the defense, but in our mock draft, we're going to have
Mockery draft.
We're going to have them taking Trent Richardson, running back out of Alabama. I think he's just an elite back like that. Lately, they're saying you don't take a back that high, but when you're talking about a guy like a Peterson, Tomlinson type, the guy can do it all. He can run, catch, block. So, and I think if you look at homegrown in Seattle, I don't think he complained about having a Sean Alexander. So if he gives me 7 to 10 years at that productivity,
we'll take 5.
He would take 8.
I'll just take about 2 straight seasons of it.
Right, exactly. We thought we had something with Hillis, but that was a 1-year wonder.
That was a head scratcher. But I will say, I'm not a big Blackman fan. I mean, I think he's going to be good, but at 4, I don't think he's worth it. I don't think he's going to be an A.J. Green type. I wouldn't be surprised if they did go Claiborne. That's the only one that I'm kind of, and Tannehill, forget it. I don't think he's worth it. I think he's going to go high enough as it is, and I think he's going to be overdrafted, but I don't think the Browns are giving him strong consideration.
Of course, I think with Claiborne, as good as he is, I think the Browns need someone to get the ball in the end zone.
True, like one person said, unless he can catch and score, and every time he picks one off, it ain't going to do the offense any good.
Exactly.
#5, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting in a good one of the teams that was very active in free agency. I think it comes down to 2 players. It's running back, cornerback.
Right.
And if the Browns take Richardson, we have them going Morris Claiborne, cornerback out of LSU. In that division here with Atlanta, Carolina, and the Saints, you better have people that can cover. And I know they signed Eric Wright. But they can get that shutdown corner. They've done a lot on the offense. I think that's a great fit for them.
Okay. Then we have what? St.
Number
Louis?
6 is St. Louis, the team that made the great trade with Washington and accumulated all those picks. Again, You know, they got the quarterback in Bradford. I think they could look a few different directions. I still think tackle should be a need for them, although I don't think there's one worth taking.
Right.
Bradford needs weapons. I think this is a clear choice again. Justin Blackman, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. I don't think he's going to be great. I think he could be a very good receiver for a decade. And Bradford just needs weapons. Give that guy some weapons, and I think I like Jeff Fisher as a coach, what he does, the defense he's going to bring, and I think that'll be a great addition.
All right, then we have sitting at 7, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars. This one was tough. Looking at it from what I think they need, I think offense. Again, they're in a similar situation as Cleveland and St. Louis. They got a young quarterback in Gabbert, who I'm not that impressed with so far. He needs weapons. He needs a better line. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that they might be going defense with the end. Melvin Ingram's the name that comes up. Quentin Copples. Originally I had them going with a tackle, but I'm going to have this. I changed my mind. I think they're going to go Michael Floyd, the receiver out of Notre Dame. I think he may end up being the best receiver in this draft.
Right.
And I think a weapon like that to go with Gabbert could help him out a lot. So we're going to have him go with Michael Floyd.
Okay, then Miami Dolphins picking next.
Miami Dolphins. This one,
Handy Hill.
I mean, yeah. And who would have thought? I mean, this guy was projected at late first, second round pick, and all of a sudden he shoots into the top 10. Some people think he could even go 3 if somebody wants to move up. I will say this. I mean, Miami brought in Mike Sherman, who used to be the head coach at Texas A&M with Tannehill. This guy knows him better than anybody. So if they're going to take a quarterback, if he believes he's the franchise, they take him. If he doesn't, I think that speaks volumes. And if I'm another team, I ain't taking him if their former coach, who just had him the year before, doesn't want to take him and they need one. So we're going to go Ryan Tannehill out of Texas A&M.
Okay, Carolina Panthers, who took Cam Newton last year, who are they going to team up with somebody this year?
Carolina could go a few different ways. I think they're going to look defense. I think defensive tackle is a big need. I think cornerback, again, in the division we just talked about, Atlanta, New Orleans. I think defense is definitely a way to go. They could look wide receiver, but again, I don't think there's anybody worth it. We have them taking Fletcher Cox, defensive tackle out of Mississippi State, shooting up a lot of draft boards. I think he's the best interior defensive tackle in this draft.
Okay. Buffalo Bills at 10.
Buffalo, again, I'll tell you, this draft's been tough. Looking at different team needs and where people could go. I mean, I think this is probably one of the deepest drafts in the last decade or even longer. A lot of good talent in this. With Buffalo, they've been active, especially on that defensive side. They lost their tackle, Bell. I think they need offensive line help a lot. They could look receiver. They got Stevie Johnson, but they need some other help. I still think maybe even a quarterback and even defense they could look. But in this one, we haven't taken the tackle, Riley Reif out of Iowa. Shore up that left tackle. They've got the skilled players. The quarterback I'm not sold on, and I think they could be looking in the future, but for right now I think tackle makes
he's serviceable right now.
Exactly. Riley come in, start from day one, and be there for the next 10 years for them.
Okay, and then Kansas City Chiefs at 11 with Romeo Crennel, new head coach.
Kansas City's been tough. I mean, they've been, again, another team very active in free agency. A lot of former Browns players, so I don't know if that's good or bad. You got Brady Quinn went there, Hillis with 2 that stood up. They got the cornerback also in free agency. I think with Kansas City, a couple needs for them. I think defensive tackle's a need, and I think the interior of the line, guard, center, quarterback as well. It might be something later rounds, but for this one, we have them going with David DeCastro, the guard out of Stanford. You usually don't hear a guard taking that high.
Yeah, he's a big mean guy, right?
Yeah, this guy's just, I mean, they're comparing him to the next Hutchinson.
Right.
Maybe even better. He's just too good to pass up. You put him in the middle of that line, and that offensive line with the addition of now Eric Winston, that line just got a heck of a lot better for Kansas City.
Right. Then our last one here in the first segment, Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks, they're pretty interesting. I mean, I think they're looking defense. You can look at defensive line, linebacker, I think guard. Gallery's now gone. I still think they need more receivers. They had the rookie Baldwin, but after that they don't have much. But if I'm Pete Carroll and I'm looking at best available, I like Luke Kuechly, the linebacker out of Boston College. They lost Hawthorne, who was a big player in the middle. So I like Kuechly a lot. I think you can plug him in, and he's going to be the center of that defense there for probably the next decade.
All right, well, expert, thank you very much. That was our top 12 picks. We'll come back later on this week. We'll finish out the draft.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks. I'm John Ryder, and I'll save a spot for you.